Hi, Beer and Drippies! I hope you guys are doing well and that you enjoyed Fall Festival. So, if you're watching this, that means you are ready to make your crafts. So, you should have received a bag that looks like this from Fall Fest. This has all the supplies for both of the crafts that we're going to be making. So, this video will teach you how to make the fall wreath. So, this is my example. This is the first one I made, and I'll show you how to make this again. So, there are a couple modifications that you can make when making this if you would like to kind of have a different background or use different supplies that you might have at home. So I'll tell you about that as well. So I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see. So for this wreath, one thing that I did that I don't want to do again for this one is I left the background white. That's totally okay because the leaves mostly cover it, but for this one I would like to color it in with a marker. So that's what I'm going to do, so that way there's no white that shows in the background. So first things first, I'm going to take my paper plate out of the bag, and just around the outside edges, I'm going to color brown. So I'll use my marker. If you have crayons, colored pencils, paint, anything that you would like, you can do the same thing. And it doesn't have to be brown. You could do orange or yellow or red or any color you would like, but I'm just going to color that in. So you guys don't need to see this part. So I'm going to pause and I'll restart the video once my whole plate is colored. Okay, so I colored my plate. It is all brown now. I did it kind of messy because I'm going to be covering it with leaves anyway, so it doesn't have to be a masterpiece or anything. But I just didn't want any of the white showing up. So I colored as much as I could around the edge, so that way if it peeks through it all, it's not just plain white, right? So the next thing you want to do is pull out all of your leaves from your bag. So you should have everything in this bag that you'll need for this project other than glue and scissors. So this next step, we'll be using our scissors. So if you aren't comfortable using scissors, especially because this is kind of a tricky part, I would ask your parents to help you with this part. They might have better scissors that will work better for this project anyway than the scissors you have. So I'll give you a second if you need to go grab your parents or an adult or older sibling to help you cut your plate out. That would be good because we want the center to be open. Okay, I'm gonna tilt down my camera again. So the way I do this, and there are other ways you could do this, I'm sure, but what I think is easiest and safest is you take your plate. These are really thin, so it should be pretty easy to do. And you just kind of gently fold it. You don't want to press down. You don't want to crease it because we don't want our plate to be stuck in half. We just want to gently kind of press it enough to where we can see the side here. So we're going to take our scissors and just very slowly cut a tiny little line. That way when we unfold our plate, you can see there's a little hole that I made, little incision there. Now, this part's kind of tricky, so like I said, if you have an adult at home that can help you with this step, that would definitely be best. But I'm going to take my scissors, just kind of press them there in between the line. I'm going to cut a straight line. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're getting rid of the middle anyway, so it does not matter. I'm going to cut it to the edge. So there should be kind of an indentation there in that plate. Then I'm going to go the opposite direction. So now we have, I know it's hard to see kind of, but there we go. We have a straight line and two little itty bitty lines. Now we'll go to those little itty bitty lines and cut to the edges as well. So now we should have, if this were like a pizza, 4 little slices, right? So just start whichever way you would like on whichever one and cut very carefully and very slowly around so that way you can pop these little things out. Again, you're going to want to go nice and slow. You don't want to make any mistakes where you accidentally hurt yourself or mess up your plate because we only have one, right? So we want to take our time and do this part well. It's okay if your lines aren't perfectly curved as well, because our leaves can cover that up. And voila. Now the center of our plate is all gone. We did it nice and safely. We have our 4 little pieces here that we can just toss. We can use them for scrap art if we would like. So now our plate looks a little more like a wreath. So for this next step, if you have a glue stick or bottled glue or hot glue, any of that will work. I'm just using normal glue stick, but you can use whatever glue you would like. If you're using hot glue, again, trust your judgment. If you have experience with hot glue and you think that you're comfortable using it, that's fine. If you're not, ask for an adult or an older sibling's help. Don't want you to hurt yourselves, and hot glue can be very messy, so just be very careful and take your time. So this is the fun part. Well, it's all fun, but this is my favorite part, I should say. So now we're going to pick out our leaves. You can start by just arranging them on your plate if you want to kind of play around and see what looks best. I would encourage doing that because if you overlap your leaves too much at the beginning and glue them down, if you run out, then part of your plate is going to be really bare, and you don't want that. So you might want to start by just kind of laying them out and arranging them how you would like. They might be a little bit crinkled from being in the bag. That is okay. That kind of makes them look more real anyway, right? You could also, if you run out of leaves, or maybe you just want some extra oomph here to your wreath, you could grab some real leaves from outside. You could also cut out some leaves from paper. You could maybe find like tissue paper or fabric and cut it out, whatever you would like. But I think I've got plenty of leaves here to work with. Okay, I kind of like that. What do you think? Does that look good? Maybe you'll move these around a little bit because all those ones are kind of the same. Yeah, I think that looks awesome. This was my first one. This is my second. I definitely think that brown in the background helped because I can see more of my plate on here. If it were all white, I don't think I would like that as much. Okay, awesome. So next what I'm going to do is just glue them down. Super easy with a glue stick, or if you're using liquid glue or hot glue or anything. If you're using hot glue, just go slow. If you're using a glue stick, again, having that arrangement already set up first will help you out a lot, because then if you want to move things around, it's a lot easier to than if they were already all glued down one by one, right? So I'm just going to glue. You can either add glue to the leaf or to the plate. I think it's easier to add it to the plate. So I'm just going to take my glue stick, push some leaves out of the way, and add some glue. If you have glue like mine that's purple, it does dry clear, so it might look kind of weird at first, but it'll be fine. If you want to overlap your leaves a little bit, you can. I like that because I think that looks a little more natural. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and glue each leaf. I'm liking the way this is looking so far. And this glue will hold it very, very well. So you don't really need hot glue. It's just if you prefer to use it. But these leaves aren't going anywhere. As long as you add enough glue, it'll be fine. So far, that's how this is looking. You can see those ones are obviously more flat. I'm going to pause. All right, so I have glued down all my leaves. They are on here really well. They're not going anywhere. I added plenty of glue. So this is looking pretty good, right? So hopefully you've had fun with this so far, but there's one last step. So again, I colored mine brown, the plate, so that way it doesn't show through white. But if there are spots, like I have a few tiny spots where it's still kind of poking through, I might kind of color a little bit more and cover that up. But that's fine. Just lift your leaves to do that so that way you don't get marker all over them. So the last step should be adding your ribbon. So you should have a little piece of ribbon. It might be a different color inside of your bag. This is how we're going to make our little hanger for the wreath. So this part's super easy. all you have to do is have some glue ready. Flip your wreath over so the plate side is up. And wherever you want the top to be, so wherever you want it to hang from, you are going to make a dot of glue, a big, big dot. You'll take one end of your ribbon, place it down and hold for a few seconds. Maybe give it a little rub pressure there so that way it sticks. Good to go. You might get some glue on your fingers. That's okay. Art is messy. Another big thing of glue, and you're going to take your ribbon and kind of curve it under and press again. You could also do it kind of like a rainbow curve if you would prefer, but I think this hangs really nicely and I think it tends to stick a little bit better. So that's how I did mine. So now your wreath is all complete. Great job, guys. You did awesome. So I hope that you enjoy your wreath. Hang it proudly from your door or your fridge or wherever you would like. This is beautiful and it's going to be such an awesome addition to your home. So next, I will show you how to make a bee pencil topper. So follow the other QR code for the next video and I'll show you how to make that. Awesome. Have fun, you guys.